We had a heck of a day in the Dow, and one of the things I keep seeing reiterated is this idea that the market sold off 300 points because of President Obama's reelection and indirectly Ben Bernanke's reelection, which if the market wanted to sell off because of Ben Bernanke's reelection, sure, I mean, if people have that kind of opinion about monetary stimulus hasn't sold the market off before, so a vote for Bernanke or vote for Obama means a Bernanke reelection, right, if you want to call it that, and also it's a vote for potentially the same type of FOMC policy we've had. Okay, so I think it's kind of a cop-out, and it's a political one also. I mean, look, we're traders here. So this isn't about politics. It's not about spinning the market is selling off because Obama. Without mincing words, I think that's stupid. It's lazy analysis to say and look at the day and say it was an Obama sell-off. Look, I don't want to look at this politically. I want to look at this as a trader, as a capitalist, not a Republican, not a Democrat. So what I want to then do is look at when we sold off. This would tell the story, and I'm a Forex trader, so of course, I'm looking at the calendar that precedes the U.S. Open. Now, when we look at a 15 or 5-minute chart of the Dow, look, I don't know when you all were looking at individually, when everybody was looking at election results, but when did we finally know without a doubt that President Obama had indeed been reelected? What was it, about 1:30 this morning or so? What was the market doing between about 8 and you can see here, well into the European Open? Going into the Asian close, it was actually moving up higher. When did we sell off? So if I want to blame anything, I got to look at the timing. Anything or anyone, any single event or any one, I have to look at the timing. So take a look here. Look at when the sell-off started. Well, now we're going to go jump on over to the economic calendar, because when we look at the timing of the sell-off, there's no way that we can say this was an Obama victory, because then why would the market continue to rally as he's making his acceptance speech? Let's take a look at the Wednesday, November 7 calendar and what ultimately I think was the reason for the move lower. Let's face it, the money in the ESM is Germany's. Who's been bankrolling all of what's going on in Europe? Germany. Yes, we can focus on ECB President Draghi speaking, and he basically gave us the no-duh moment of the day when he said that, in essence, Germany had been kind of insulated from what's been going on in Europe. But then when you take a look at German industrial production numbers, which aren't usually a number that we would focus as a high impact number, when we get this kind of miss, I think we start to see potentially why the market got in such a lousy mood after 6 a.m. And again, it's not about guessing. It's not about saying this is what the market's doing. It's about looking at when something's being discounted. So when I jump on back over to the YM and I see the sell-off occurring at this point in time, okay, 6 a.m., not when Obama's leading the electoral votes, not when he started to make up some ground in the popular vote, not when he took his acceptance speech, after the German economic data was released. The market was already in a lousy mood by the time the 9:30 bell rang, and we continued to accelerate. Okay? Does anybody here have any doubt that an Obama win, a re-election, was already baked into this cake? I think the media probably made a little too much of the swing states and Mitt Romney closing ground in them. I think the media tried to make the Super Bowl matchup a little bit more even. You know, who wants to watch a Super Bowl when one team's going to blow out the other? I really do think there was a little bit of media manipulation here, because when you look at ultimately how the votes came out, they really did not reflect that much of a Republican's closing ground. So we have status quo today. So what is that different from yesterday to today? When we look at the market rallying, we have status quo. We still have the same president in the White House. We still have a Republican House, right? So where is the big shift? I don't think this market was factoring in any significant way a Republican win in the White House. Okay? It's been a long day and I'm pretty exhausted, but I wanted to put this short little video together because I just see a lot of talk about people saying this was sell-off was because of an Obama win. I just think that's lazy. I think that's political, and essentially I think it misses the point of what the market is now refocusing on, and that brings us to tomorrow. forget this whole politicizing of the 300-point sell-off. Draghi basically drove the nail into the coffin. German industrial production sure as heck got the hammer and the nail out. Okay? Tomorrow we're going to have the minimum bid rate. I don't think anybody expects any changes to the 0.75% rate. But heads up, if Draghi's going to continue on with his, typical rhetoric now, do we see anything happy coming out of the press conference? Do we see the market in any better mood tomorrow? The market now is refocused. We had a little break. We had a little reality break with the election. We had a wonderful distraction with the election. We ignored the European crisis. We ignored Angela Merkel basically taking the rug out from underneath the Spanish and their expectation for direct recapitalization of their banks. In fact, she even went so far as to say that the ESM needs a supervisor, and that supervisor will not be chosen until after next year's German elections, which isn't until September. Okay? So the market chose to basically, they were distracted by the election, chose to ignore these things. Well, guess what? They're still here, and here they come back, and we've got to rediscount all this back into the market. A lot of pessimism. Okay? So we're focused on the fiscal cliff. We're focused on the problems that persist in Europe. And I think that's all that was today. And again, look at the timing. It was triggered by the German release. Okay, so that's my 2 cents for today. In the meanwhile, I'm looking for all sorts of shorts on different euro pairs, whether that be my existing short in the fiber, looking for shorts in the Euro Aussie, Euro Kiwi, and Euro Loonie. I'm looking for more euro weakness. I'm looking for reality to creep its way back into the market. And that's where I stand. So again, question the timing. Take a look at the calendar. I think it all gels at that point. Agree with me? Cool. If you disagree and have a different take, leave a comment here. I'd love to hear it. All right? Those are what I feel made the market move today. All right. I'm exhausted. I can't talk anymore. I will see you all tomorrow.